Surely today is the day, right? So make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. This previous weekend was OTS Championship weekend, where everybody gets to go out to their local tournaments and they participate in the best Joey Wheeler style that they can to prove their bad decks that they are capable of getting a national invite. I've seen Odeon. I've seen like 30,000 roll lab piles. I've seen the power of Sacred Beast. But you know what I've not seen? An honest-to-God love for this current format, which is what inspires me to continue to make these videos, hoping that, someday we will receive a change that is really worried or really worthy of the current spectacle of power. God, that was painful to come up with that. But the reality of the situation is today is surely the day, right? Today is surely the day. We've come off of the OTS championships. There's not really much else left in this format except for this weekend is the Grand World Championships. This is going to be where Konami is looking to hold up the mantle and push out this great opportunity. So the strongest duelist in the world, strongest duelist of 2025, actually 2026, 2025, the last year of dueling entertainment, they're going to come up to the helm and they're going to really showcase what a make-believe format is capable of getting, where we merge the TCG OCG list and we really just kind of showcase, who's going to win. Now, unfortunately, the last few years, TCG players have really just been like the driving main winners in these formats, no matter how happy, sad, great that is. I am probably expecting a TCG player to win yet again. So we'll see where this weekend goes. But I mean, traditionally, we've had ban lists come up on the opportunity to be talked about during the live streams of Worlds, and they've just traditionally not done that. So as much as somebody's going to be like, oh, well, we could see the ban list on the World stream, do you really think that Konami Japan's going to allow Jerome to be walking up with a briefcase on, the NA stream while the Japanese players are just like, what's going on here? There would just be... It's not realistic to see that actually happening. So what are we, judging by the OTS Championship results that I have seen this weekend, the 60 card piles kind of remain the biggest topic of consideration that Konami needs to clean up. 60 card Rolad, Clown Crew, Mitsurugi, Azamina. It's the fact that all of these engines are overlapping with each other, that we're basically allowing all of these particularly different engines to actually be working out. And it's so weird to see that, we're having this engine abnormality problem working back out again in the same light that we have seen before, which is just... I don't really know how to approach wanting to fix this. Because, realistically, we still talk about Dia Bellstar, we still talk about the Azamina package, we talk about Wanted. And realistically, Wanted and Dia Bellstar getting, shut out in larger numbers is going to make a lot more people kind of sad. But the thing is, even if we limit Dia Bellstar, we limit Wanted, these are still, consistency hits. And those limits don't actually, hinder the Dark Magician of Destruction being an ultimate rare in the next OTS pack. Actually, I feel like that pushes the traditionalist, the Dark Magician duelist, to actually want to go out and try to perform to get the Dark Magician Destruction while checking the Azamina package more into the ground. I traditionally I always liked Dia Bellstar as the consistency pile of things here, but now you got to flip the coin here. All right, the coin is OSS. All right, if Original Sinful Spoils is going to be a card that we want to consider returning back into our format as a one-up, then we have to kind of give some consideration to, the future of Dia Bellstar. Honestly, Dia Bellstar and OSS, existing in the same format, limited in some capacity, I feel like is fine. Honestly, OSS could probably come back to 3 at this point and not do anything, but the TCG likes to be jaded for some reason. The TCG likes to go, oh, well, it's at 3 in the OCG, look at MX Saber Invoker, for example, here, and even some of the wind up stuff that's still, hidden purgatory. we know that these cards are fine, but for some reason the TCG is just so jaded that we're just like, well, no, we're not going to allow Mech Saber Invoker to come back. Invoker has been back in the OCG for what? Has it been 3 to 4 years at this stage? And these cards are doing absolutely fuck all. Oh no, Gladiator Beast is broken. Yeah, you know what else could probably come back at this stage and be okay? Probably Block Dragon. But it's been very much proven that the TCG didn't want to use the marketing on Gladiator Beast, so we didn't bring back Invoker previously. We didn't give two fucks about, bringing back anything for rocks, Block Dragon. Who needed that selling point? But they've manipulated things like the Fairy Tale stuff, and they brought Fairy Tale Snow back. So it is a fuck all that Konami wants to market appropriately with these sets to do things. Because you'd be like, all right, cool, pattern, MX Saber Invoker Glads, check, sure, we'll bring that back. Pattern, Block Dragon, bring it back, okay, sure. Oh, Fairy Tale Snow, we're surely not going to bring back Fairy Tale Snow to sell. Oh, they brought back Fairy Tale Snow. I do not understand how the marketing aspect of this game works, because the two things that you feel like they would do, they didn't, and the one thing that the TCG really didn't want to see happen has happened. So, it is interesting to kind of look at it from that perspective of, yes, sets do drive the ban list. It's just, what are we expecting? Also, I'm pretty sure MX Saber Invoker is another card that is up for the topic of discussion with the Joey Wheeler deck, because the Radiant Typhoon package making MX Saber Invoker gets out the Dark Panther, which gets you to do the thing. Now, as you guys know, the Radiant Typhoon package is pretty much more checked in the TCG. So, I guess if they want to push MX Saber Invoker in the TCG, I guess this would be the opportunity to do so. But it just, oh my god, man, I don't know. There's besides pushing for Metamorphosis, pushing for Norden, because you gotta remember, Norden already got his rat in the OCG too. These are all cards that I feel like the TCG just they don't know what they're doing, man. Yeah, honestly. A natural check, the big things that need to happen are the 60 card piles need a rollback, literally. They need to find out which of the engines they still want to remain in the game. But also they need to understand, since we're toying around with the idea of more generic cards. I mean, look at Joey and look at Yugi's cards. Both of the packages are very, very, very isolated engines that you can just... They work pseudo low to the ground, and you can start manipulating and testing out different things with them. That's the scary part when it comes to these sorts of packages and things to discuss. Splashability is just one major topic in this game that, is just that. Outside of that, with how things are kind of looking right now, this will be a list that needs to be massive. I don't want to say they need to soft reset, check things into the ground, but realistically, things need a decent rollback. They have to counterbalance things kind of going forward. And you got to remember, we just are now getting the Magnificent Monsters stuff, and the fact that the OCG's already had these cards for upwards to 10 months, almost 8 months, and this is some of the longest jet delay that the TCG has had for a while. So the best I can tell you is we gotta wait and see, man. That is all. I hope that today is the list. I hope that we do get some changes. If not, not today, sometime later this week, because we need something to change this game, because I'm not seeing people necessarily super upsetty spaghetti about it, but it's more or less the general power scaling at the moment where things kind of are, and that's an interesting one. So guys, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and guys, please be patient. I'm not $1 million company worker, but it'll come in all good time. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.